which coach, a Nigerian coach would have taken such a risk. So I think he has a large, place in the hearts of so many soccer-loving Nigerians, even the ones that are yet unborn, the little ones who are growing up. They know Keshi. It's so shocking that you can talk about some other players, but most of them know Keshi. So that's how to describe this player who meant so much to so many people. You can have some reservation here and there, but you can't take away what he has achieved for this country.
Let me go back to social media very quickly because we want a lot of people to talk to us as much as we can, celebrate this man. Unfortunately, passed on very unripe age of 54. Milton Teller at Teller Milton 76 says Keshi will forever be remembered for his contribution to football in Africa. That's coming from Abatunde Loye. He says he's the chairman of Nigerians in the United Kingdom. Adekunle Busari says this death appears sketchy and should be investigated in his own opinion. He says Big Boss was a fearless and a courageous guy. Jude Onoha at Judon 20 says, so sad, we've lost a legend, and he says his best moment, best Keshi moment, I'm sure, is during his playing days, his goal against Ghana, Senegal 92. I'm sure he's talking about the goal against Senegal. Senegal 92, I mean, that memory is still there for us. Had a sleep that Jules Bokande, also late now, of Senegal, scored equalizer for Senegal, but Keshi, with a minute to go in that game, went forward and got the winner for Nigeria. 2-1, Siasia scored the first goal for us, and Keshi scored the winner in the dying minutes. That's coming from Judo Noah. Ernest says Keshi's death is so shocking. It is the least of the news I expected to hear today. May God grant him eternal rest in his bosom. And Keshi is to Nigeria what Pelé and Maradona, what they are to their countries. That's what it says. John Onyuku says Keshi was a true legend and will forever be remembered. Hashtag rest in peace Keshi, the best Nigerian coach in history. Ese Odehowo, I hope I didn't murder your name, says we will miss Keshi's smiles. Keshi's death has made me cold all day. And it says rest in peace Keshi, hashtag big boss. Edio Gbemudia says, I'm shocked. Okay, that's going so fast. Edio Gbemudia says, I'm shocked with the news of Keshi's death when we were gearing up to see him take charge of Orlando Pirates. Okay, and Oladipo see Ayemo at Pastor Oladipo says, good night, Stephen Keshi. You left too early. This is a huge loss. How I wish there's a book to remember him forever. Emmanuel Anu Bamidele at Real_Bamidele says, no wonder death took him from sleep. His fighting spirit could have resisted. Hashtag rest in peace Keshi, the one who made Nigeria proud. We have this one also coming from Prince Nehemiah. It is so disheartening to hear the untimely death of the big boss. May God grant his family the fortitude to bear this huge loss. Keshi, the big boss, paved the way for other African players to Europe. I thought this news was a joke. It's now dawning on me. All right. Sami Afolayan says, it's the biggest shock of my life. Woke up today with the news that the big boss is no more. It's painful. Hashtag Keshi, rest in peace, big boss. Moses Bamidele says, I still can't believe that the big boss is no more. All right. Keshi believes more in African and local players. Mba and other local players will remain grateful to him. The philosophy of Stephen Keshi. He played the game to the highest level. He believed that a Nigerian and African can do what the Europeans and the foreign coaches come here to do if football administrators in Africa just show them enough respect. It was in the forefront of agitation for African countries, African federations to believe in African coaches. And I remember that the Nations Cup he won in South Africa, he was always saying it. If you want to bring a foreign coach from Europe, bring somebody that can impact knowledge. And I remember he ran into a lot of trouble with some of the foreign coaches on the continent when he said, look, bring somebody that we can learn from, somebody that when we see, we want to learn from. We have quality here in Africa to lead African teams.
I agree with you totally. His views, oftentimes led him into trouble. But you cannot take away the interest, the passion for African football in every view he has expressed, and he led it by example. By not only coaching and winning the Nations Cup, and he also made a case for several African coaches. African coaches are always scared to talk because they feel that the federations are doing them a lot of good. They are doing them a favor by, giving that opportunity to coach the national teams. But Keshi, didn't believe in that notion. He believed that when you are good as an African, your country should give you the same treatment that they give to the foreign coaches. And according to him, that was the only way that African coaches could succeed in their work. When you employ your countryman and you don't give him the necessary tools to work, you don't give him a conducive atmosphere, you're always imposing players on him, which he rejected, then you should not hold him responsible. But when an expatriate coach comes, everything is given to him, and they seldom stay so much in the country. They just stay like mercenaries after 1 year or two. If they are along the line, if they are able to win some titles, then they move on to better, anytime they get any offer that is better, they leave that country. So, but Keshi was always making a case and insisting that the African problems should be solved by African coaches.
Okay, let me wrap up this segment. We can't ever stop talking about the big boss, about Stephen Keshi, but for the sake of the show tonight, we'll have to just wrap this up and go on to some other segments of the program tonight. But you can be sure that this will go on and on and on and on and on. But keep those comments coming, because we'll keep referring to them even as we go on Sports Tonight. But let me just wrap up this segment by reading two more messages on Twitter. Ola Laro at Olahood says Keshi is a pathfinder, a leader, the best captain of our national team. And Isma says Keshi's loss is huge for world football. Keshi's humility, despite all his achievement, is what endeared him to many people. All right, we have to go on that break right now, but keep this conversation coming. We'll go on the break. When we return, we'll spend a few minutes to take a look at Copa America. When we return from Copa America, we'll still take a look at games played in the Nigerian Professional Football League today and some other issues before we wrap it up on Sports Tonight. This special edition of the show dedicated, of course, to Stephen Okechukwu Keshi. Join us again.